Part 1, Chapter 6, from Raise Your Voice, a Cause Manifesto. You are here, the cause quadrant. Think of all the causes with which you are familiar and with which your organization competes for funding and resources. In the broadest sense, causes fall into two categories: those in which your audiences are interested emotionally, what inspires us with compassion and what appeals to our hearts, or rationally, what informs us, speaking to our minds. There are many reasons that motivate your audience's interest in your cause. It's rarely one extreme or the other, with many personal nuances in between. We're informed by what speaks to our minds and thoughts. We're inspired by what appeals to our hearts. The national taxonomy of exempt entities can be used to position and gain perspective of your organization within the context of other meaningful causes and supporter motivations. It can be a useful reference point for evaluating the mix of inspirational and informative messaging in your design and communication planning. Researchers and fundraisers continually conduct studies and research donor motivations in an attempt to quantify what motivates and influences individuals to support a particular cause. In general, people support causes and not institutions. Knowing what your perspective should be, competitively and experientially, is valuable. Your design choices and marketing communication will be more powerful if you understand what your perspective is and your point of view when you speak. Practically speaking, you will need to position your organization as the voice of the cause within a crowded and noisy marketplace. You will need to demonstrate content expertise of the cause and support it with communications about the organization. The top half of the cause quadrant includes entities that impact people directly: health, human services, public society benefit, foundations, and education. This is considered the greater good segment of entities. The lower half of the quadrant includes entities that influence culture and special interests. These include animals, environment, religion, international, and arts, culture, and humanities. This is considered the cultural good segment of entities. Horizontally, those that fall on the left appeal primarily to our hearts, and those that fall on the right speak primarily to our minds. Once you've identified which quadrant into which your cause potentially falls, next consider what may generally motivate and influence your donors and supporters. If one thing is more important than any other, it's this: seek to know and understand your audience and community. If one thing is more important than any other, it's this: seek to know and understand your audience and community. Every constituent group, millennial, baby boomers, retirees, alumni, are motivated and influenced by different and often generation-specific factors. You can't assume that your generational perspective is the same as others. Ask some of your current donors and volunteers why they do what they do on behalf of your cause. The answers will give you great insight into how you can communicate more effectively with them. What you want to find is the right balance of emotional and rational messaging that creates a voice of credibility. Understanding your communications context will help you to create a narrative that informs and inspires. The most powerful stories are those that combine three elements: pathos, which is emotion; logos, which is rationality; and ethos, which is credibility. Emotion and rationality woven into the narrative builds credibility for your organization and your cause. Your challenge is to stop thinking like a brand and define your personality in order to create your identity and find your voice. Remember, a cause is not a brand. Yours is a mission-driven organization advocating on behalf of a meaningful cause, operating with character, values, and a culture that give your audience reason to believe in your cause and support your purpose. Your organization must become the voice for those who have no voice. Your cause is bigger than your organization, and the nature of the cause is more compelling than the organization that represents it. Your organization represents the intersection of where the audience is connected with the cause and where the audience is connected with your mission. That's why you have to be the voice. You must consider how you will communicate the invisible as well as communicating the visible impact and outcomes. Design and communications are what help you demonstrate meaningful, lasting impact. Design makes stories visible. It could be that your story appeals to your supporter's heart, and how it is presented speaks to their mind. Whatever your approach, the most meaningful cause can have a powerful voice if it understands the perspective from which it speaks.